Wow, man. That's the trailer for season 2 for them, the scare season. Heather, I saw season 1. I wasn't sure what to expect. I promise you I didn't think it was going to be what it's about.
Right.
You know, season 1 was about a black family that moved to the South during the time of redlining in the 1950s when white folks didn't want black folks. A lot of folks, well, I won't say all. That's a blanket statement. But a lot of people in the white community didn't want to integrate with folks from the black community. And this amazing family moves in with a very, sturdy husband and a very powerful wife and kids. And they learn that they got to face a lot of adversities of people who don't want them in their neighborhood. And then it's the supernatural element that's a part of this series that had me mesmerized. And not only because of that, but because the person who stars as Livia Lucky Emery is someone that we have a lot of similarities, Heather B.
How so?
Let's hear it.
Let's hear this new thing now, citizens. Let's go. Deborah, just
Try
buckle up, Deborah.
I'm nervous.
Well, she was in Girls Trip. We, as a community, galvanized, and we all decided that was an amazing, wonderful movie, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
She was in Harriet. We love Harriet, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Cynthia Erivo.
And we had her on the show,
We
and
love
we love the
Cynthia.
story of Harriet Tubman.
Yeah. So were you in
Powerful
these two?
black
Did I
woman.
miss you in these two?
It's just, Harriet Tubman. I was a big fan of Harriet Tubman.
Oh, you was there. I forgot.
I was there, and and she co-starred with you and I in Luke Cage.
So, okay, that's one thing he got right. Deborah.
Come on.
All right. That's one good thing.
We co-starred in Luke
Luke
Cage. And
Luke Cage.
where she got her sauce.
And Luke Cage.
No matter where it was she was born, it's where she landed that gave her the sauce.
Okay.
Keep flowing.
That has fueled her career and gave her the wherewithal to play roles from them to riches and show you a full dichotomy of her skill set.
Okay.
Because she was born, reared, well, she wasn't born, but she was groomed and raised in the Bay Area. She's a Bay Arean. Give her a big round of applause. I want to welcome Deborah Ayorinde to the show. Deborah! Can I get a yee?
Yee!
There you go. Tell me that ain't fake.
Said with ease,
Tell me that ain't fake.
An organic yee.
Tell me that ain't fake.
Man,
Antioch,
area.
Antioch, that's your place, right?
Yeah, literally graduated from Deer Valley High School.
Deer Valley High School.
I know.
So what mall did you work at?
Wow.
I worked at the Concord Mall.
There you go.
I worked at BB.
Oh,
One
that
summer,
was,
actually, yeah.
that was a fly job.
BB,
Come on down.
with the rhinestones on the bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So it was after my freshman year at Howard, I was like, I need a job, and I went and I was like, I want to work kind of in fashion and stuff like that. But there's not much fashion in Concord, so I was like, literally, worked at BB.
You worked
I
at
worked there
BB.
too.
You did?
That was the spot, man. Teach you a lot about sales too. You have to communicate over there.
You really, really do. Yeah.
At that time, shout out to San Pablo Dam, by the way. That's in your area. Just throw that out there. At that time, working at BB was the dream. Was it the dream were you acting at that point?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
so that was just a side job, a summer job. For me, I always knew I would be a performer, always. There's nothing I considered seriously. I've always been an artist. Even when I worked at BB, it was because I wanted to kind of stay around like fashion, and so, yeah, for me, it wasn't necessarily the dream. I feel like I could learn something while I'm not in school. But yeah, it was very, very interesting.
Yeah, you gotta understand. Like Concord Mall is. That's
that mall.
Yeah, I'll say it.
Little
It's
suspect.
it's just very mainstream.
Okay.
Like
Exactly.
Britney Spears might have opened up there in the beginning of her career. Debbie Gibson. Back.
Yeah.
It's from that mall era. Your parents are you Nigerian?
Yeah, I'm Nigerian, Yoruba.
Yoruba? Okay, we got that in common.
Yeah.
Heather, come on.
Listen, I didn't know that.
We didn't know that either. We just finding all of this out too, Deborah. Just ride along, man. You here for it.
We didn't have my cousin who works for Ancestrycom up here.
Okay.
I remember Nika. Shout out to Nika Smith, who came up here and broke down some of Sway's ancestry, but I kind of don't remember your percentage.
It was 80% Nigerian.
80
today.
I mean,
It changes, Deborah. Like now, tomorrow, somebody else. He's that too. Let's just go along with it. Okay, yes, Sway. I remember.
You remember that, right? So we got that.
We got that coming.
Tell your parents I said what up.
I will.
So
I will.
what was the experience at Howard? Like you could have
Yeah.
went a few places, but you chose Howard.
Oh, so many reasons. I mean, the alumni is like the alumni.
Yeah.
Like they're literally like from A to Z, just people that have done and are doing great things. I knew I wanted to live on the East Coast. But going to Howard, I felt like it was just black people from everywhere. So I felt very much so at home, you know. Yeah, it was just such a beautiful experience. To me, it felt very much so like a different world. You know, so when I watched that show, I felt like I wanted to have that experience.
That was your Hillman.
Literally, it was my Hillman, you know. So, yeah, and people that it's almost like a fraternity in itself, because anyone that I meet that's gone to Howard, it's like an instant like brotherhood, sisterhood, you know. So yeah,
That's a total dichotomy of
black experience.
the black, black experiences, and then even when we go back to the plot or the storyline with them, you're moving. Your character is moving into a area that has no black people, right? So you get to play this person, Lucky, who slaps the hell out of.
And the funny thing about that, so the way they wrote it,
you got to set up the scene. People may not have seen this scene. This is a colossal scene.
So basically, oh my gosh, what happens in that scene? So I'm walking my daughter home from school after essentially rescuing her from school. And then the neighbor, Betty, played by Allison, she's amazing, she comes over because she's just been on their family's case like this whole time. So then, like, you know, I pay it. I'm like, girl, you know, whatever. And then she says the N-word, you know, to not only me, but to, you know,
Your
my
kid,
child.
yeah.
And so just when I read that, I could feel the
That's what I want to
you
hear.
know,
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah.
And so they originally wrote it just simply like, oh yeah, she, you know, slaps the, I don't know.
She slapped the shit out of
Okay,
her.
she slapped the
That's
shit
how
out of her.
they wrote that. They wrote that in the script?
She slaps it.
Slapped
I
the
think she said she slaps the taste out of her mouth or something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, LM, who's the creator of the show, I was like, I feel like it needs to be a backhand. Like, I don't think it needs to be like a regular slap.
What made you think that?
Because that's just more like disrespect. It's just more like, I can't explain it, that just the energy of that. And then I might get my ring and it's just the things like that. I just was like, I felt like the regular slap wouldn't capture, you know? So he just took it. He's like, okay. Next minute, it's like she backhands, like literally. So that day, I chose to play it very like to where you don't know what I'm gonna do, and then right when I get in front of her, it's just like
You smacked the shit. You know that smack in that scene, though it was fiction, it echoed for hundreds of years of oppression and frustration and anger of people who would have loved to have done that.
Yeah.
It wasn't able. At one point, it was against the law.
Yeah, and I wanted it to feel that way. I wanted to feel like a moment, because I wanted Lucky and the Emerys to feel empowered. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, anyone who's watched the show and is able to enjoy it understands that, yes, we're talking about some heavy things, but somewhere in that family finds their power. They find themselves. In those moments where she's like, no, I'm going to take my power back, whatever it means. Like, that was a moment. Yeah. You know, that's why I was like, no. She needs to backhand her. Yeah. You know, she needs to just really level her, you know?
I like that. Deborah hey, man, I like that right there. That energy, because when you slap that, and it was character, when you slapped that, I felt relief. I don't know why I felt relief. You put a lot of weight on these characters, though.
Yeah, I do.
You put a lot of weight on it. You could just go act it out and scene cut. No?
Never. I don't know if that's like the Nigerian in me.
All right.
The Nigerian in us. Never carry less.
Yes, you heard that, Heather.
But I don't know if it's the Howard in me. I don't know what it is, or just like the way I was raised, but I just don't do anything small, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the God in me just being like, I just want to do everything great. you know, and that can be a lot of pressure sometimes, but I just don't do anything halfway.
I
Ever.
like it. Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
So even in, like, for example, even in Girls Trip, for me, it was like, you know, that character, I put a lot of thought into that character. I wanted that character to be played with dignity, to where you understood her. She's not just a character or something. She, you know, there's a reason why she's ended up in the situation she was in. You know what I mean? Because I wanted people to see, which I feel people still come up to me and like, oh, you was that Heifer in Girls Trip, but I loved you, girl. You know what I mean? Because they felt like they could see themselves, you know, at that time. And even kind of now, it's not often that you get to see like a dark-skinned Black woman, you know, be beautiful and hold her own on screen, you know? And so I didn't take that moment lightly, you know? So for me, I put thought into everything I do, you know? So, yeah.
I just became a bigger fan of my cousin over here, Deborah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Now y'all cousins. You see,
My cousin, the shit. I like that. Cuz.
Listen.
Nah, I
That's
fully
amazing.
respect this because you don't leave a drop wasted of an opportunity from what you're saying. And I even caught on to that when you were talking about being at BB and you knew that you still always wanted to be a performer, an artist. And you didn't even say like an actor. It was just something that had even more passion to it.
Yeah.
Is there, from what you experienced and from what you see, is there a difference in your approach to acting when you view yourself as a performer and an artist versus just viewing yourself as a movie star and actor?
Yeah, absolutely. Because for me, well, one, I merge all the things. I love music. I love fashion. I love all the things. Like the way I even approach my characters is from a place of, like, I even learn lines very, like, musically, if that makes sense. Like, I think about a lot of different things when I'm thinking about a scene. I think about what music will play behind it. I got my degree in film production, so I'm thinking about the lighting. I'm thinking about all these things when I'm, like, playing a character. So it's not just about me. So I feel like a lot of times when I find that multi-hyphenates or, like, artists who are actors or who happen to be actors, I feel like they're much more skilled because they're not just thinking about themselves and their part in this thing, because there's so much that goes into this thing. And it's very different than music, where it's like I can come on and just sing a song and I've just sung a song. When it comes to acting, it's definitely a group effort.
Yep.
So you can't actually think, when people win awards, it's not just them that have won that award, it's all the people that were attached. It's the people that were doing your touch-ups during that thing and encouraging you to, you know what I mean? Like, even with this installment of them, like, there's a guy, Ray, who worked in costumes, and literally on that set he would take walks with me and on the stages and just talk with me about what was really going on in my life. You know, and that helped me through that process. So it's not just me. So I feel like being an artist, you think that there's so many elements to this. And really, at the end of the day, like, acting is really just a case study on humanity. That's all it is.
That part.
You know, and that's why people who have studied it and people who haven't can still arrive at the same place if they're arriving from a place of truth. So I think that, you know, all art is about truth. Do I believe you or do I not? Period. You don't have to be the best singer. You don't have to be the best technical actor. But if I believe you, then you've done the job. Period. You know, so for me, that's how I approach things, is what can I do to make people believe what I'm doing? And if I do an audition and I don't believe myself, I'm not doing it. Period.
Yeah.
Damn, who did we
Profoundly
just meet
shared.
this morning?
Yeah,
You
that's
said it was your cousin.
Now you ain't
I thought you knew me already.
Deborah, I warned you, Deborah. I warned you.
Cuz.
Oh, man.
Hell, do you want to talk to my cousin? Y'all co-starred Luke Cage together.
Well, I do, because I grew up in New Jersey, right? Where it's a place where, ironically, a lot of jails and a lot of malls. And it's funny because I worked in retail. I did the things, and always truly as an artist. But I knew, I'm like, I'm headed to Hollywood. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to do all the things. When I finally arrived, whatever that means, a part of me was overwhelmed and overjoyed, but a part of me was also very disappointed. Like, all of the things that I wrote down in my diary and I practiced my autograph for years, all of the things, it wasn't quite what I imagined in a lot of spaces. Did you have any of those experiences? It's because it seems like you knew from the very beginning, like me, you wanted to be an artist, or you were an artist, I should say. But when you got there, whether it was your first job or your biggest job, did it live up to those expectations?
Oh my God, I've had so many of those experiences. And I feel like my tribe and my faith is what got me out of those moments, and having that clear vision of like what I'm going to do in the world has kind of got me out of those moments. So many moments where I was like, I don't even know if I can do this anymore. Like, if I want to do this anymore.
Gosh,
literally, you know, but then you, like, God always sends those people to, like, remind you of the impact that you have. That just, like, it just reminds you it's bigger than you. What you're doing. And that's what gets me, like, recenters me and keeps me on my journey, is realizing that it's bigger than me. You know, people need what I'm doing. Like, I need what I'm doing, for goodness sake. Like, I see myself sometimes, I'm like, I am seeing what I needed to see, you know? And so, yeah, so many of those moments. And I anyone who says they haven't had those moments is lying. Straight up lying. You lying. You know what I mean? Because we've all had those moments where we've wanted to give. If you really care, you have to have those moments, because those are the moments that really just prepare you and really just, like, I'll even give you a Luke Cage story. So I lived in Atlanta, and, you know, in the midst of me, like, you know, grinding as an actress, I was like, I need a side job. I need to, you know, make more money. So I did bottle service, right?
Okay. What club?
Oh, my God. I did a few.
Okay.
So I did Crave, Orem, and something else. They're probably not open. Or maybe they are. I don't know. But I did them. And so I hated every single day of it. And that's on record. I hated every single day of it because I just felt like just the way that, you know, we were treated. I just felt like the way we were talked to, and I'm just like, it just wasn't my environment. I'm not really a club person like that. So to be there every day, you know, but I was like making the money I needed to make, but I hated every day. I would literally drive to work every day and cry and pray like, God, please, right? So literally, there was one night I didn't cry, and I just was like, you know what? This is it. I'm gonna go. I pray. I know that you'll lead me to the next stage in my career when it's time. Just let me find favor, protect me, all that stuff. And when I went to work that day, it was just a weird day. Everything was going wrong, but I had a peace. And then towards the end of the night, I just looked at the crowd, and it was just like a voice that came, was like, this is gonna be your last night doing this.
Wow.
And so I literally, like, before the club ended, people were still like, you know what I mean? I closed out my tips. I went to my car, and I was like, bet, deuces. So a few months later, I moved to New York, and I get an audition, and it's under a code name, and it's for a bottle service girl who hates her job. And I was like,
no freaking way.
And I literally looked at my friend, and I was like, girl, I'll do this. And I didn't know what it was for. I just knew bottle service who hates. I know exactly with like the back of my hand. So I do the audition. And I had to go in again, the easiest audition I've ever had to do. And that was Luke Cage. And literally it was one episode. I did it. One episode turned into 2, turned into 6. And like, that's just like, so it's like those moments where like you think like, oh my God, it's awful and I hate this and what am I doing here? But it's like, you know what I mean?
That was divine.
Woo!
Like literally.
That was literally divine.
Literally.
Hey, why am I here? And then you found out.
Literally.
Part of
That
God's
was my
comedy
Luke
show.
Cage story.
Wow.
Come on, sis.
That was
Wow,
my
that's
Luke Cage story.
amazing.
God had you auditioning ready for that role.
Yeah, they got you ready. You didn't drop no.
I knew what to wear. I knew the makeup. I knew the lingo. I knew how to hold the little.
Yeah, you didn't spill nothing. You didn't spill no liquids.
Wow.
That's a testimony.
Yes, it is.
To the fullest
Wow, that's
extent.
amazing.
It is.
There was that peace.
That
She
peace.
spoke
It was
about
that
having that
peace.
peace.
It was that
That piece.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm gonna let you wrap this up. Mike
Yeah.
Muse with the last question. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. How are you? That was a beautiful story.
Thank
you.
It really goes to like using grounding in something to be your North Star. And I think that was very powerful. Well, I think it goes into something that I was curious about in your previous line of thought about the way you study your characters.
Yeah.
Right. And I think about now the Bottle Silvers girl character.
Yeah.
I never heard an actor break down the way that you did your character and your approach. So it makes me think that you're really truly a thespian. And so I'm wondering now, with that being said, do your previous characters ever inform your current characters?
That's a really good question. It is. I know with this installment of them and the last one, I actually had to separate them because they're totally different. And it's very easy to come into the same universe and like want to bring Lucky to Dawn, but you can't do that if you want to honor the new character. Has another character ever informed? I don't think, no. I think I kind of treat them like different people. Now, have I pulled from similar experiences of my own for different characters? Yes. I feel like a lot of my characters have a bit of like a longing for belonging thing. That thing of figuring out where they belong and who they are in riches and this. And I don't know why that comes my way, but it's all good. But like that, I obviously pull from my experiences of kind of trying to figure out where I fit in the world, and then realizing like I fit with a lot of different places, and that's okay. So that kind of informs me taking this character on that same journey. But if I could say that one character's kind of informed the other, no. And then maybe that's because of the fact that my characters are so different from each other. You know what I mean? That I haven't really had to. I will say, actually, you know what? One, my character in Harriet and my character in the first installment of them. I think those, if there's any two characters that I think informed each other, it would be those two.
That's actually what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. I saw your face. I was like, wait a minute. There is
like,
one. Those two.
Keep
those
thinking,
two.
Deborah. Keep thinking. I know what I was.
Those two. Hands down.
I think your trajectory has been interesting, how the roadmap of your characters informs that, right?
Yeah, honestly, I just love us, and I really just want to like continue to just show our story from different angles. You know, I've been blessed to be able to experience the Black experience from different angles.
Yeah.
And not many people can say that they've been able to do that. And from that, I know that we're similar in a lot of ways, but also different in a lot of ways. And so I kind of wanted to like celebrate those differences and those similarities with my career and with my work. And so, yeah, it's a blessing to be able to like, you know, go from A to Z in my characters, you know. So, yeah.
That's great.
It's a blessing to have you on this show.
Word.
Wow. Tremendous blessing to have you on this show.
My cousin.
Cousin. Deborah Olayinka?
Yes, Olayinka.
Olayinka.
Say it like a Nigerian, yes.
Olayinka.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ayorinde. Yes. Ayorinde. No?
Ayorinde. Yes.
Deborah
Deborah,
Ayorinde.
I told you, Deborah, I
Olayinka.
got you.
Ayorinde.
That's it.
Say my name in with the accent. Sway. How would you say sway?
Sway with the accent.
Well, yeah, with the Nigerian way of saying sway.
Sway.
There, you nailed it. All right.
Wow.
We want to thank Luke James for
It's been a
coming
long day, Deborah. And imagine, this is only a half hour. This is what we deal with for 4 hours, Deborah, every
Cousin knows
day.
me, man. She know we Bay. This is Bay. We get hyphy.
He's stupid.
You know what?
Bay Area. Yo, the Bay is gonna love knowing you're from the Bay.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna tell everybody.
Oh, man.
Okay. We about to be
Tell everybody.
telling everybody.
Listen,
We got to get you on. Yeah. We get on Lord.
E40 and me. No,
That's his other cousin.
Yo, E40 and T. Listen.
That's what you grew up on?
Listen.
What?
Listen.
Tell them where to go?
Listen.
What?
No, before.
Practice looking hard?
Mama.
Sprinkle me?
Sugar tea. E40.
Sprinkle me.
Man.